Hello, Shanti. Good evening.
Om Shanti, good evening.
Shanti, good evening.
Om Shanti, good evening.
Happy welcome. Hope everyone is doing well.
Ji Saurabhai, all good. Thank you.
Today, taken up the topic, lose your emotional weight. Lose your emotional weight. We're all mindful of our physical weight these days, especially, right? We want it to be, healthy, right? In the same way, we have an emotional weight. And in Sunday's message was all about being double light, right? Which means to be, light as a soul, and also to be light whilst, playing our part on the field of action. So what is the opposite of light? Dark. And the other opposite of light? Heavy.
Heavy.
Heavy. So many times what happens is we become heavy. Heavy with emotions. And that's where we thought to explore this subject. How do we become heavy, and how to then lose that emotional weight? Acha. It says lose your emotional weight. So this lady is carrying so much of, these are like bricks, right? It's like fear, sadness, guilt, pain, anger, right? So if we were to define emotions, what are emotions? Anyone would like to discuss what are emotions? How do we define emotions? So generally we say an emotion is energy in motion. That's how we say emotions are nothing but energy in motion, right? So there could be both positive emotions and not so positive emotions. And so, which kind of emotions make us feel heavy? The not so positive ones. And these are some of the examples. Any other examples that we can think of? Emotions that make us feel heavy.
Attachments.
Attachments make us feel heavy, right?
Fear.
Fear, yes, fear, yes. Anything else? Right. Right, if we see all the negativities or all the vices are actually emotions, right? We say algae, right? Anger, lust,
Anxiety.
anxiety, right? So greed, attachment, ego, all these are emotions, right? And all these make us heavy. So what happens? What is the problem in being heavy? Why is it problematic in being heavy? It depletes the energy, right? So suppose I have to walk without all these bricks and I have to walk with these bricks. Which one is easier? Without. And if I'm carrying all these bricks and weight, what will happen? What can happen? Huh? Yeah, right. And I can actually, it can be very dangerous for the health of the body, right? Because we can't bear all this, and then it's very easy to fall and get hurt. And that's what happens when the mind is emotionally heavy. It's very easy to fall. It's very easy to get hurt. And it's not healthy because we are carrying so much inside, right? So these are all emotions. So let's see. In India, we have this, in railway platforms, there are coolies. So what do coolies do? They carry the weight. That's their work. And basically, we are all coolies because we are all carrying something. We're carrying our past, we're carrying our regrets, we're carrying our guilts, right? All these things we're carrying. And so, because we are carrying so much, we are not able to always be light or enjoy this moment because of all the baggage that we are carrying. And in order to experience being an angel and being even a soul or to remember God, if I'm carrying all this, is it easy or difficult to then become a soul and remember God? It's difficult. But when I just learn to just let go of it, then it becomes very easy to remember God. Right? Achha, so let's see what we have today. So this one says, feelings are temporary, but the impact they have on our lives can be permanent. Like feelings or emotions, they will come and go. They won't stay forever, but the impact that they can have on our lives is permanent. Right? Something happened, but it will, once it enters my heart, it will have a very deep impact on me. This one says, the invisible burden of emotional obesity. Right? So obesity is they say these days they say it's a disease, especially in the US, right? They say obesity is a disease. And because of obesity, a lot of other organs may not function properly. And it can actually lead to a lot of diseases in future. And so in the same way, when we become emotionally obese, right, we carry so much, it's not healthy for the mind. And then the spiritual growth also becomes difficult. Acha. So what do we carry? Okay, this one says baggage you don't need to carry. So we all carry so many bags, right? What are these bags? What are the two hand luggages? Guilt, expectations. And not only that, we carry on our head also. So what is this? Negativity, others' mistakes, right? We sometimes think about this one, did this, that, this one did that, your past. So much that we are carrying. And so when we go on a journey, should we travel light or should we travel heavy? We should travel light. And these days, when we go for international trips, earlier they had 2 bags free always, but these days some flights have just 1 free, and you have to pay so much for an extra bag, right? And so it's like this in this journey of life. If I carry all this, then I have to also pay, right? It's not going to be easy, right? What else do we carry? These are some other expressions that we all carry, all emotions. One is, nobody cares about me. I'm going to die alone. I hate my life. All these are like, some other examples. Any other examples of emotions that we carry? I'm not good enough, right? Yes, I'm not good enough. Anything else?
I cannot forgive them for
I
something.
cannot forgive them for something, right? Forgiveness is another important, right? I cannot forgive, right? Anything else? Why it is happening with me now, right? Yes, yes, right. There's so many, and sometimes it's like small things that often get unnoticed, but we actually carry them. And that's all those things weigh us down. They don't allow us to fly and go to Baba. That's what actually it is, right? When God says Dey Abhiman, all this is Dey, actually Deyaban, and Dey Abhiman is all this, right? All the loads that we carry. We said, so that was his sister who was carrying. Now we have a brother also who is carrying. So this one says, so this one is also carrying so many bags, right? It says forgiveness is the process of dropping off your emotional baggage, right? So if I don't forgive and forget, I actually carry so much, right? And so once I learn how to forgive, it's very easy to then, right, drop off all these bags, right? Achha. So let us watch a little story about the weights that we often carry. Achha.
In this world, the heaviest thing is not what we carry in our hands, but what we carry in our hearts. The moment we let it go, everything feels lighter. Once, in a monastery, there was a young monk who had recently joined. His past was filled with painful memories, family conflicts, childhood struggles, and disappointments that never left his mind. Even in the peaceful monastery, he felt something was always wrong. He saw problems everywhere, even where there were none. His mind was trapped in overthinking, making even the simplest things complicated. One day, he could no longer bear it. He went to his master and said, "Master, I am tired. My past never leaves me. I keep thinking about everything. Things that happened long ago, things happening now. I cannot find peace. What should I do?" The master smiled gently and said, "Come with me." He led the young monk outside the monastery. Pointing to a distant hill, he said, "Do you see that small hut on top? An old monk, the most senior among us, lives there. He left our monastery years ago to meditate in peace. He will give you the answer you seek." Eager for a solution, the young monk said, "May I go now? I cannot wait any longer." The master nodded, and the young monk set off immediately. He climbed down the monastery hill and started his journey toward the distant mountain. After a long and tiring climb, he reached the old monk's hut. The old monk was deep in meditation. The young monk waited patiently. When the old master finally opened his eyes, the young monk bowed and said, "Master, please help me. My mind is filled with painful memories. I cannot forget the past, and it troubles me every moment. I want to be free from this suffering." The old monk smiled kindly and said, "I will give you your answer. But first let us go to the village below for our midday meal. A disciple there has invited us." The young monk agreed, feeling hopeful. As they prepared to leave, the old monk picked up a large, heavy rock and placed it before the young monk. "Carry this with you," he said. The young monk hesitated but obeyed. He lifted the heavy rock onto his shoulder and followed the old monk down the mountain. The path was steep and uneven. At first, he thought the rock might have a hidden meaning, so he carried it with determination. But soon, his arms began to ache, his legs trembled, and sweat poured down his face. The weight slowed him down, and he struggled to keep his balance. Meanwhile, the old monk walked ahead with ease, without any burden. The young monk wanted to drop the rock, but he thought, "What if this is part of my lesson? I must endure it." He kept going, suffering more with every step. By the time they reached the foot of the mountain, he was exhausted. His whole body ached, and he could barely stand. To his surprise, he saw the old monk sitting under a tree, smiling. The young monk, gasping for breath, asked, "Master, why are you smiling?" "I am in pain. This rock made my journey miserable. Please tell me the lesson." The old monk said gently, "How was your journey?" "Terrible," the young monk said. "The rock was too heavy. It made everything difficult." The old monk nodded. "Then why didn't you drop it?" The young monk froze. "But you told me to carry it." The old monk smiled again. "I told you to pick it up, but I never said you must carry it the whole way. You could have dropped it any time, but you chose to suffer, believing it was necessary." The young monk suddenly understood. The old monk continued, "This journey is like your life. The rock is your past, your painful memories, your regrets, your worries. You have been carrying them for so long, making your life difficult. But just like this rock, you can put them down anytime. The moment you let go, you will feel light and free. Why suffer when you don't have to?" Tears filled the young monk's eyes. He dropped the rock immediately. As it hit the ground, he felt a strange relief, as if a great weight had lifted not just from his shoulders, but from his soul. The old monk placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "The past is gone. The only thing keeping it alive is you. Let go, and peace will find you." That day, the young monk learned the greatest lesson of his life. Freedom comes not from holding on, but from letting go. We often carry the weight of our past, our regrets, pain, and disappointments, without realizing that we have the power to let them go. Just like the young monk struggled with the rock, we struggle with our burdens, believing we must carry them forever. But the truth is, the past only has power over us if we keep holding on to it. The moment we decide to drop our burdens, we free ourselves from suffering. Life becomes lighter, easier, and more beautiful. When we stop clinging to what no longer serves us, let go, and peace will follow.
This showed how often we carry burdens and the emotions, and how long does it take to drop? How long does it take to drop it?
In an instant.
An instant,
Just a moment.
a moment. And so that's why it is very easy. And the moment I just choose to drop it, I just choose to drop it, right? Right. This one says, if you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. Right. If you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. So all the past, emotional baggage, expectations, insecurity, all of these weigh us down. And that's why, God says, be double light. Double light means don't hold on to any of it. Just let it go. And in the moment I let it go, I can fly. They say, once you let go, what is the second word that comes? After let go, then let. What happens after that? So after let go, it comes let God. So only when I let go can I allow God to work on me. Right? Because until I don't let go, God also can't help me a lot. Right? Because I'm carrying so much. And so the the real inner spiritual work is just realizing, right, what am I holding on to, and then just letting it go. Right. And then we become like an angel. And so, what are some of the realizations that allow us to then drop it, let go? One thing it says is there comes a point in your life when your love for yourself must become more important than your need to hold on to the past. Right? So the moment I feel that I have more and more love for the self, and I see myself the way God sees me, so that becomes a kind of a motivation for me to drop whatever I am holding. Because then I say, no, this is how God sees me, and this is who I really, want to be, and who I actually was, and I'm becoming also. So then it's very easy to then hold on to that and then drop off, whatever I am not, right? Not to hold on to the past or all the emotions. And we have seen this before also, but let us see this slide again. This one says, bodiless mind experiences zero weight, right? It says, so if I have a box that is the mass is 10 kg on the earth, how much it will weigh? It will weigh 98 newtons, or right, because of the gravity, right? But the same box, if I take it to the moon, how much will it weigh? Just 16 newtons. Why? Because the gravity is almost 1/6 of Earth, right? So whatever the mass is, but its weight will be less. And the difference between mass and weight, right? So weight is what I, when I stand, I'll on a weighing machine, whatever the weight reading is. But if I go to space, because there is no gravity, there is no weight, right? So the moment I shift my attention from this earthly physical dimension to the dimension of the soul, then I won't experience any weight, right? So only when I come into body consciousness, it's then when I think I'm this role, I'm this, form, this name, this everything. Only then I'll begin to experience the weight of whatever has happened or emotions or whatever. But when I am actually in the soul dimension, then although everything will still exist here, but I won't experience the weight of it, right? So I'm not carrying it, right? So that's why God says, right, like to become bodiless, right? So to become bodiless, so I'm actually allowing my mind to drop off all the baggage. Then I can actually become bodiless, right? And so then I can just easily be light. There is another way to lose the emotional weight, and there is a research in neurology, and it talks about the 90-second pause. The 90-second pause, and what it says is all the emotions actually exist only for 90 seconds. And if I am able to not give in to those emotions for the first 90 seconds, there is a very high chance that I will actually not be influenced by it. So let's watch a little clip that discusses that scientific study, and then we'll move on.
Here's a truth that might blow your mind. Every emotion you've ever felt, sadness, fear, rage, was designed to disappear in just 90 seconds. But why does anger last for hours or even days? Why do we keep replaying that insult, that betrayal, that one moment we couldn't control? Well, it's not biology. It's you. And once you understand this, you'll have the power to end anger before it even begins. Let me explain. 1. The 90-second rule. Back in the early 2000s, Harvard brain scientist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor had a stroke that completely rewired how she understood emotions. From that experience, she discovered something most of us never learn. Back-end index pointing right in emotion, biologically, only lasts for about 90 seconds. Here's how it works. Your brain receives a trigger. Let's say someone cuts you off in traffic. Within a fraction of a second, chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline flood your body. You feel hot, tense. Your fists clench. Your jaw tightens. That's your fight or flight system kicking in. But those chemicals, they naturally break down in 90 seconds. If you simply let them pass, the emotion ends. 2. Why it feels longer. So if emotions are so short-lived, why does anger stay with us for hours, sometimes days? It's because you keep the emotion alive with your thoughts. You replay what they said. You imagine what you should have said. You build entire stories in your mind. It's not the emotion anymore. It's the mental loop. You're no longer angry because of the moment. You're angry because you keep pressing play. That's the trap. And here's the key. You don't have to engage. You can choose to interrupt the loop. And when you do that, the emotion dies just like it was supposed to. 3. How to end anger fast. So how do you actually do it? Here are 3 quick tools to end anger before it controls you. 1. Watch the clock. Next time you feel anger rise, just say, "This will pass in 90 seconds." Then breathe. Count. Let the wave roll over you. 2. Interrupt the thought. As soon as the replay starts, stop. Say something out loud like, "We're not doing this." Interrupt the pattern and move. Stand up, splash water, go outside. 3. Shift with action. Emotions need motion. Walk, stretch, journal. Do anything that grounds you in the present and pulls you out of the story. Remember, you're not your anger. You're the one watching it, and you get to decide how long it stays. So the next time your blood starts boiling, remember, the emotion is just visiting. You decide if it moves in. And once you learn to ride out those 90 seconds, you'll never lose yourself to anger again. Like this video if it helped you pause.
Mhm. So it says emotions are just visiting, right? I think in the last week's Murli, like Baba was saying, like how Maya actually comes to visit, and it's up to us whether we want to offer it tea or snacks or even food, or it's up to us whether to just not allow, Maya to come. And so it's pretty much like that, right? And so if I am able to just, control and allow it to pass for the first 90 seconds, then it won't have an effect. But if not, then I'll just go on creating, stories around it. And it's a nice way it said mental loop. It's like a loop, and I get stuck in that loop. And then from one emotion, one little trigger, I can create so many thoughts. And I like the way it said, like, what to do is, it's also to, move, like do some action, like it said, not just to sit, but do some action, some motion. And it's a very easy thing to do, right? So first to just count 90 seconds, just to allow it to pass, to tell the self, no, I don't have to, give in to this emotion, whatever it may be. And then to, so that I pass that wave, I pass that moment of test. And so, sometimes Baba would say it's a test paper. So it really means that I have to just allow it to pass. It will come, it will go, right? So, but I just don't have to give in to it at that moment, right? Mm-hmm. This one says, a 90-second pause is the difference between a reaction and a response. So the first is time. So a trigger comes and then I react, and then we have unwanted outcomes, right? But in the second, when I took some time to pause, so there is a trigger, but a 90-second pause I took. So 90-second pause gives you time to take a deep breath, resist the urge to act impulsively, name how you feel, put your ego aside, think through consequences, right? So after that gap, then there is instead of a reaction, now there is a response. And there are favorable outcomes. And that's what generally happens, right? Emotions come, they influence the mind, and they make us act. And that's what Baba says, right? Don't perform an act, don't come into act, means don't react. Even if you may have storms in your mind, means you may have, I should say this, I should, do something because of, the thoughts that I'm getting. But at that time, not to put it into action. Right? And I really like this 90-second pause, this research that the neurologist has done. And that's so true, right? So in those 90 seconds, what do I tell myself? So that I don't give in. Because the story is there, right? And all the past sanskars are there and it is getting triggered. So what do I tell myself in those 90 seconds? So I tell myself to say, there's a nice slogan to remember. It says, keep drama small. Keep drama small. So I realized, so whatever happened, it happened in the drama. It happened in the story. And so it's just out there. And I'm not the drama. I'm just an actor in it. Right? I don't give life to the drama. Drama is just an act. It's just an act. It's as if I'm just a scene in the drama. It didn't happen with me, the soul. It just happened in the scene out there. Right? So I consciously tell myself, no, it happened in the drama. It happened in the drama. It was a scene in the drama. So that allows me to just zoom out. Right? And that's what, all our seniors and everyone and Baba, that's what Baba did, right? Just keep drama small. It happens in the drama. Baba gave the example of Dadi Ji, right? Dadi Prakashmani, and she also would, always say, just drama ke part ko, drama ke patri par chalo. Like a train runs on a track. She said, we have to run on the track of drama. Right? So whatever happens is all drama. So I don't take it in. Just enjoy the ride. So keep drama small. Keep drama small. So it then allows me to just stay in my self-respect and not give a lot of thought. Right? There's another slogan we can remember to in those 90 seconds pause, right? So if I'm seeing something which is not to my liking, this says everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Right? Everything will be okay in the end because that's how this drama is written, right? It's scripted. At the end, we all will go back to our home and we all will come in the next cycle, right? But so it is going to be okay in the end. If I'm seeing something is not okay, it means it's not the end. So let me just wait and it's fine, right? It just allows me, it gives me some break, some patience, right? Right. So there's another thing in psychology, and they talk about the 3 states of mind. And in those 3 states of mind, talks about how, like, when we are under the influence of emotions, there is an emotional mind. And when we are rational, there is a rational mind. But when we are operating from either of the two, it's actually we are not operating in balance. And there is another mind which is called the wise mind. And that's what the wise mind, emerges when I connect with my truth internally. So we'll watch another little clip that explains these 3 states of mind and how we can shift our energy to the wise mind.
Do you ever find yourself stuck in thinking extremes? On the one hand, being controlled by your emotions, or on the other hand, denying your emotions and paying attention only to facts and logic? Understanding the 3 states of mind is a powerful skill that allows you to be aware of which mind you're in so that you can invite in all parts of your brain and therefore make wise mind decisions. There are 3 states of mind: reasonable mind, emotion mind, and wise mind. Reasonable mind is cool, rational, and task-focused. When you're in reasonable mind, you are ruled by facts, reason, and logic, and you do not pay attention to feelings. Emotion mind is hot, mood-dependent, and emotion-focused. When you're in emotion mind, you overdo your emotions, and you're ruled by your mood, feelings, and behavioral urges to do or say things. Facts, reason, and logic are not important at that moment. Wise mind honors and uses both the reasonable mind and the emotion mind. Wise mind says you do have within yourself the ability for wisdom when you think dialectically, using together your reasonable mind and your emotion mind. Let's take a look at some examples of reasonable mind. Some unfavorable examples of reasonable mind might include denying your sadness when your pet dies, telling yourself, oh, it's just a dog, I can buy another one. Or being emotionally dry in your relationships and not willing to talk heart to heart. Some favorable examples of reasonable mind might include doing your math homework, learning how to apply to college, or figuring out how to use that new cool app on your phone. Let's look at some examples of emotion mind. Some unfavorable examples of emotion mind might include saying, I hate you, to your mom when she doesn't let you go to the party, or throwing your phone across the room when you're mad. Some favorable examples of emotion mind might include discussing your sadness with a friend when a loved one has died, or jumping for joy when you get a good grade on your test. Let's look at some examples of wise mind. Taking a time out in the middle of an argument so you avoid saying something hateful that you would later regret. Following your gut instinct and not walking in a dark alley at night. Or finding time to do a mindful SOS during the middle of the day when you notice your personal distress and lack of control are both high. And so, wise mind is the coming together of your emotion mind and your reasonable mind so that you can make the best decisions in life using all of your brain. You can live in wise mind. It just takes mindfulness and practice.
powerful light, right? It's like the head and the heart, kind of that, right? Sometimes we have too much head space, right? And then we don't give respect to feelings, or, sometimes we may not feel empathy for others, right? Because we are too logical. But sometimes we are too heart-based, and then we just, become very emotional, right? And so it's like a spirituality, like the more we, go towards our truth, it's like a balance. It's like both are there, right? So it's like the emotion mind and the rational mind, means the heart and the head together. And that's why if we see, it's like Gyan and Yoga together, right? So it allows us to stay in that, wise mind, right? Right. And so it's interesting, like if we look at our personality, sometimes our entry point could be heart. And so then our spiritual journey should be from heart to head. So if I'm too emotional as a person, so some, like in knowledge, in spiritual knowledge, something, which is based out of love or feelings will attract me to God, which is good. But then the journey has to be from heart to head, so that then I, strengthen my head, because heart is already there. I have to strengthen my head so that I can deal with Maya better. But sometimes the entry point could be head, means I understand knowledge and I'm, it makes sense and I really, it's very good. But then I don't feel anything. I don't feel God. I don't feel it, right? So the journey is from head to heart, right? And so it's a balance. It's a balance. And that's where it says wise mind. Sometimes it's called the middle mind. In Sanskrit, Baba uses the word after Manmanabhav. What does Baba say? Yes, Madhyaji Bhav. Madhyaji means to be in the middle, right? To be in balance. It's like, the Vishnu is a symbol of balance, right? Even we say, left brain, right brain, right? In balance. So the more I operate in balance, I won't be triggered by emotions or, too much logical thinking, right? Right. That's another way to just be in my truth. Right? There is another few thoughts on, just comparing our emotional weight to our physical weight. Few practices that we generally do to reduce our physical weight. So one is, we say, eat raw, right? We say eat salads or veggies and, right, eat healthy. So which means, like, to my mind, like, what am I feeding? If I'm feeding thoughts that are simple, raw means simple. You haven't processed it a lot, and spiritual. So that's what we say in the morning when we listen to, the spiritual thoughts. Those are actually simple. They are not processed by the human mind so much. They're simple. And so that will allow me to, that is a healthy food for the mind. Second, we generally say reduce deep fried or, things that are unhealthy. So deep fried means I process a lot. I fry it and, but that is difficult to digest for the body. In the same way, the thoughts that are too much about drama, story, this, that, then they're also not good for my emotional health. They will increase my emotional weight. Third thing we talk about is to exercise when we have to lose weight physically. So here it is, exercise of the mind. Means I, like Baba said, in a spiritual drill. In a second, okay, now become bodiless. In a second, go to your home. In a second, become an angel, right? So it's like in a second, I'm practicing detachment from the thoughts. And fourth is, they say you should increase your metabolism. Because if your metabolism is good, then also you won't gain weight. And so that is yoga power. Right? So the more I have yoga, the more I'm able to digest better. That is spiritual metabolism. Right? Right? So all of this allows us to lose emotional weight. Cha. Cha. So we'll just finish with this one last, maybe, thought. And it says, angelic means only pure emotions. To be an angel, that's what our homework is, right? Is only pure emotions. Not emotions that weigh us down, but pure emotions are emotions, feelings of love for the divine, love for the, every soul in the world, love for the creation, love for nature, everything. So all these are pure emotions that don't weigh us down, but they connect us to our truth. Because, yeah. So that's where we also learned about the difference between human and angelic consciousness and the kind of emotions that humans have and the kind of emotions that angels have. Acha, Om Shanti. So thank you for joining. Let us take a moment to just realize that we often carry a lot of baggage and emotions, but all of those emotions, we have the choice to just drop them. And it just takes a second to drop them and to reconnect with my truth as a spiritual being, as an eternal traveler, a soul through the journey of this life. And I realize that I have the option to not react but respond, to just take a pause, to not allow the trigger to make me react, and to always operate with wisdom, to have a balance of head and heart. So I allow myself to just soak up in my truth. And that allows me to lose the emotional baggage and lose the emotional weight and have only pure emotions and feelings towards the self, the divine, and the entire world. Om Shanti. Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, family. Thank you for joining. I'd like to open up if anyone would like to share any thoughts from the Zoom. Anyone would like to share first? We have a few angels here. Just pass.
Really nice session. Thank you so much. A lot of good points. I think my key takeaways are going to be the wise mind, like balance between heart and head. And then the 90-second rule is interesting. That's something I'll try to just get through the 90 seconds to let the emotion pass. And then I like the quote where it said, your love for yourself should be more important than your need to hold on to the past.
Mm.
That's something I'll work on for myself.
Mm.
But thank you.
Thank
It was a
you.
great class.
Thank you, Shanti. Mhm.
My takeaway is like 90-second pause. So first, अगर कुछ भी ट्रिगर कर रहा है तो उस टाइम पे पॉज देकर just question yourself, take a deep breath, and like there are some questions like resist the urge to act impulsive, name how you feel. So like उस 90 सेकेंड में इमोशंस कैन चेंज, ये मुझे नहीं पता था कि वो जस्ट स्टोरीज होती है जो हम क्रिएट करते हैं उस इमोशंस के टाइम पे. I'll try. And what was, yeah, like everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. तो ये बहुत टचिंग है. I mean, अगर ये कुछ सही नहीं है, मीन्स ये अभी एंड नहीं है, एंड तो कुछ और ही है. और पापा ने बताया है एंड तो यही है कि हम वी आर गोइंग, पर हम नाम फाइनली और हमारा मूड वही है, तो एंड वही है. तो जस्ट अ ड्रामा. एंड जो हम हमारे वेट को हम हमारी बॉडी को केयर करने के लिए ईट रॉ, मतलब रॉ फूड खाते हैं, जो ये सारा बैलेंस्ड है. तो सिंपल टू इमोशनल हेल्थ को कैसे बैलेंस करना है कि थॉट्स को सिंपल रखना है, स्पिरिचुअल होने चाहिए. थॉट्स अबाउट टू मच, इट मीन्स इट्स ड्रामा. like as a ड्रामा. एंड स्पिरिचुअल ड्रिल करना है, जैसे बाबा बताते हैं कि पॉज एंड योगा एंड पावर, लाइक ज्ञान एंड योग का बैलेंस. तो the thing that I'll take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Very nice.
A wonderful topic. Thank you very much. Walking us through what real emotions are, what can weigh us down. For me, the takeaway was the 90-second rule, how to practice it, what slogans to tell, and the actions you can, practice by taking a break. And also, I really like the reacting versus response. How reaction would follow unwanted outcomes versus responding to a situation by reflecting your emotions can change the outcome. So those were the key takeaways for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Respect. So, anyone else would like to share?
I really enjoyed that story, monk story, where people supposed to hold that rock, and at the end, monk said, "I told you to hold the rock, but I didn't say all the time you have to hold. That's your choice. You can drop by you walked with that, and I'm walking freely and look at you, and you're so frustrated." So that is really very, very real, that we keep the baggage, we listen to everything, and then we think, oh, it's so hard to drop. And that let go process comes here with this story, how easy to let go at the moment. You let go and you feel so relaxed, no burden, and walk freely with the happy moment. So very nice, that story. I will apply. Sure.
Thank you for sharing, Sangeeta ji. Very nice.
Thank you, Saurabh bhai. This was wonderful. Especially I like the 90 seconds rule, because I know that it really works when you take that pause. But in day-to-day life, if you do not hear about these things, you do not apply those things. But when you keep on hearing these kind of words, these kind of things, you try to apply those in your life when the actual situation comes. So thank you so much. And the 3 states of mind that you explained, really, it resonated with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure. Any other thoughts?
ओम शांति।
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Suresh Bhai.
बहुत अच्छा मतलब टॉपिक है और प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ के लिए भी मतलब बहुत ज्यादा। और ये तो सही है कि इमोशंस से हम अपने आप को बांधे हुए हैं, मतलब कोई हमको नहीं बांध रहा है बल्कि हमारी अपनी इच्छा है, इसीलिए हम बंधे हुए हैं। और इसी में मतलब हम एक छोटा सा एक एग्जांपल है कि एक बार एक सेठ जी थे। तो जनरली सेठ जी को इंडिया में क्या बोलते हैं, वो थोड़ा मतलब कंजूस टाइप के होते हैं, वो किसी को कुछ दे नहीं सकते। अब वो एक कुएं में गिर पड़े, अब बोलते मुझे बचाओ बचाओ बचाओ। अब सब आके बोल रहे हैं कि अपना हाथ दो। अब उन्होंने कभी देना सीखा ही नहीं, अब वो हाथ दे ही नहीं रहे हैं, वो बार बार बोल रहे हैं कि भाई हाथ तो दो तभी तो बचाएंगे तुमको। तो इतने में एक सन्यासी आ गए, साधु। तो उन्होंने कहा क्या कुछ बिजी हैं क्या?
नहीं आप बोलो, वो ट्रांसलेट कर रहे हैं, आप बोलिए।
अच्छा, ओहो। तो एक साधु आए, तो साधु ने पूछा क्या बात है? बोले कि सेठ जी हैं, कोई में गिरे हुए हैं, बोले बचाओ, लेकिन हम बोले अपना हाथ दे दो। बोले ये मत कहो हाथ दे दो, बोलो हाथ मेरा हाथ ले लो। तो जैसे ही कहा मेरा हाथ ले लो, तो फौरन सेठ ने हाथ पकड़ लिया और फौरन निकाल। तो
Very
मतलब
nice.
यही कि हम अपनी मर्जी से बंधे हुए हैं इमोशंस में, कोई हमको बांध नहीं रहा है। लेकिन ना छोड़ो तो छूटो, मतलब
Right.
हमारी अपनी इच्छा है। तो जिस दिन हम इमोशंस को अपना मतलब कर लेंगे तो अपने आप ही हल्के होके फिर डेवलप होके बाबा के पास भी
That's a very good story. Yeah.
ठीक है। ओम शांति। थैंक
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Very nice. Thank you. Great. Any other final thoughts? Sure. So thank you for joining. Have a good rest of the evening. Om Shanti. Good night. Good day. Om Shanti.
शांति। गुड नाइट।
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
ओम शांति। तो अभी हम हिंदी